Hey, I'm Ryan from draftyourbid.com, and today we're talking about how to write a marketing agency quote that clients actually approve. By the end of this video you'll know exactly how to structure a quote so clients see the value, stop stalling, and sign faster. Let's get into it. Let me start with a scenario you'll probably recognize. You have a great call with a prospect. They're excited, you're excited, everything clicks. You go away, put together your quote, and send it over. And then, nothing. Days go by. You follow up, they say they're still thinking about it, and a week later they've gone quiet, or worse, they've signed with a competitor whose work isn't as good as yours. So what happened? 9 times out of 10, it wasn't your price. It was your quote. Specifically, it was vague. Here's the thing about vagueness. When a client reads a line that just says social media management, £1,500 a month, their brain doesn't think, great value. It thinks, what am I actually getting for that? And when a client can't answer that question, they don't approve, they delay. They ask for a call to clarify. They compare you to someone who spelled things out more clearly. Every bit of confusion in your quote is a reason to say not yet. So the entire goal of a good marketing quote is to remove confusion and show the client, in concrete terms, exactly what they're buying for every pound they spend. Let me walk you through how to do that, step by step. The first and biggest fix is this: sell deliverables, not services. This is the single most important change you can make. Most agencies describe what they do. Social media management, content creation, SEO. Those are categories, not deliverables, and they mean nothing to a client. Instead, describe what the client actually gets. So instead of social media management, $1,200 a month, you write, social media management, $1,200 a month, and here's what that includes. 12 posts per month across Instagram and LinkedIn. For stories per month. Community management, Monday to Friday, with a 4-hour response time. And a monthly performance report. Now look at the difference. The price didn't change at all. But suddenly the client can see the value. And here's the bonus: specificity protects you just as much as it reassures them. When you've written 12 posts, and 3 weeks in the client says I was expecting more like 20, you have a calm, easy answer. The quote covers 12, but I'd be happy to add more, here's what that costs. Without that line, that same conversation becomes an argument you usually lose. Vague scope isn't just bad for approvals, it's unpaid work waiting to happen. The second fix is to separate your one-time costs from your recurring ones. This trips up so many agencies. You do a big chunk of work at the start: the strategy, the brand audit, setting up the accounts, building the first campaign, and you bury all of that in the first month's invoice. So the client, who agreed to $1,200 a month, suddenly gets a first bill for $2,000 and gets spooked. Instead, surface those costs and split them into 3 buckets. 1. A one-time setup fee, quoted as a fixed number. 2. The monthly retainer, the ongoing delivery. And 3. Optional add-ons, things like paid media management or extra content, that they can choose to bolt on. This removes the nasty surprise and makes internal approval far easier. £800 to get set up, then $1,200 a month is a sentence a client can walk into their finance team and get signed off. A confusing, inflated first invoice is not. Third, define your revision rounds, explicitly, in writing. Somewhere in your quote, state how many rounds are included. 2 rounds of revisions included. Because here's what happens without it. You deliver, they ask for changes, you make them. They ask for more, you make those too. And on the 3rd or 4th round, you're doing hours of unpaid work, quietly resentful, while the client genuinely believes revisions were unlimited because you never said otherwise. State the number and clarify what a revision covers. Something like structural changes to the strategy are not included in content revision rounds. That protects you when a client decides, halfway through, that they want to pivot the entire direction. That's not a revision, that's new work. Fourth, if your service can work either way, show both a project option and a retainer option, side by side. Some clients want a defined project with a fixed fee and an end date. Others want the predictability of a monthly retainer. When you show both, the client gets to choose the model that fits how they think, which makes them more comfortable saying yes. And, interestingly, showing both often increases your average deal size, because a client who came in thinking, "I'll just do a quick 3-month project," sometimes looks at the retainer sitting right next to it and upgrades themselves. You didn't push, you just presented the choice. Fifth, define your out-of-scope process before you need it. Marketing briefs change constantly, and clients will always ask for just one more thing. So decide, upfront, what happens when they do. One line handles it. Work outside the scope of this quote will be agreed in writing before it begins. We'll provide a brief estimate for your approval. This isn't adversarial. It's professional. Clients who understand this from day one are calmer and easier to work with throughout, because everyone knows the rules. It's the agencies that never set this boundary that end up frustrated and underpaid. And finally, payment terms. State them explicitly, right there on the quote, because making a client chase you for clarification just means delay. For retainers, invoice monthly, in advance, with a 14-day payment term. For projects, take a deposit to begin, usually 30 to 50%, with the balance on completion or split across milestones for longer work. When a client knows exactly when they'll be billed, how much, and when it's due, they don't hold up the approval asking questions. Clarity gets you paid, and it gets you paid on time. So let's bring it together. A marketing quote that clients approve does 6 things. It lists deliverables, not vague services. It separates setup from the recurring fee. It defines the revision rounds. It offers both a project and a retainer where that makes sense. It sets out the out-of-scope process. And it states payment terms plainly. Every one of those does the same job, removing confusion and making it easy to say yes. And that's how to write a marketing agency quote that clients actually approve. If this helped, do hit like and subscribe, it genuinely helps the channel. And I'd love to hear from you, so drop your own quoting questions in the comments and I'll answer them. Before you go, take a look at the video showing on screen right now. Chances are you haven't seen it yet, and it's a perfect next watch from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.